Good afternoon, viewers. As we are rounding the corner of 2019, politicians have been announcing they're running for president, although one of these candidates is not a politician at all. What began as an album produced just for fun, Omari Carter, with the help of his campaign manager, Will McAfee, have recently blown up due to their latest music video. Take a look for yourself.
You know what? Shout out to the Good People Party.
Making music great again. Problems we facing, mass deportation past administration, almost ruined democracy in the nation, divided us talking polarization, Trump leading us into damnation, go to Russia for another vacation, don't tell Mueller investigation, working with racists making negotiations.
Negotiations? It's a shame. Locking up kids is inhumane. No words, just tweets. Cabinets changing every other week. Hated Democrats, so beware. They tryna repeal healthcare. Disappointing, I'm not a fan. What happened to Republicans?
Republicans, man, they looking radical. Limited government, small capital, racist movements, they're irrational. Look at the rich, dog, they're taxable. Yay, get in office, that's a touchdown. You know we getting bills passed till the sundown. Trump banned Muslims, we said slow down. He left us 35 days, shut down.
Shut down? That's old news. After writing this, we cannot lose. We making history. Breakthroughs, that's a sneak peek. No more previews. Fix the country. Here's the antidote. November 2020. Go vote.
Carter has gained strength in numbers, gaining support from a diverse group of Americans. Mostly younger people and those of both parties have stood behind Carter. In a whirlwind of events, Carter has announced his running for president on his national tour. Carter will be one of our youngest presidential candidates in American history, having just turned 35 in January of 2019. His vice president, Christine Gale Hyde, gained notoriety in 2018 after losing a competitive Senate race in Florida. He chose her as a running mate quickly after his announcement to run, and sources say she happily agreed. Carter, McAfee, and Gale Hyde have been going on tour, combining performing their songs of their album to Washington and rallies at colleges all over the United States. Hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to cover one. Many people have been wondering how Omari Carter is funding his campaign. He is so young and so inexperienced. Fortunately, one of his financial meetings have been leaked. So, the right thing to do is to show it to the public. Take a look.
I'm doing the math, and this is the money that you are going to have to pay for this campaign. It's some really difficult, complicated equations. I didn't expect you to understand it all, but we're going to have to raise some funds.
All these PACs and 527s, and people are lining up to donate to the campaign.
Yeah, you know what those are, don't you?
Yes, money for me.
Sort of. So, here's the thing. PACs are essentially political action committees, and they want to help you. The PACs that are on your side want to donate to you and donate their time to ensure that you are elected. However, they do have limitations on how much money they can donate to you, and 527s are a U.S. tax-exempt organization under Section 527 of like a code that you don't really need to know. Essentially, they also want to donate money to you, but both have limitations, and so we need to investigate the amounts that they want to donate and their claims prior to accepting donations. So They donate to you so that you can support their interests, and they then have an amount of power over you and your decisions once you are elected to the presidency. Now, you don't want someone like telling you what to do, right?
Of course not.
So you have to be a little bit choosy about who you let donate to your campaign. And according to the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act of 2002, national political parties, federal candidates, and office holders are prohibited from soliciting soft money contributions in federal elections. So that's another thing you have to be careful of.
Wait, soft money isn't like paper?
No, not exactly. Soft money is a contribution that's not accounted for in going to a political candidate. Thus, it is in avoidance of like certain legal limitations. Hard money is the opposite. It is accounted for and it is documented. So you want the majority of your contributions to be in hard money so that it lends credence to your campaign.
Good afternoon. Today, I'm coming at you live from the Democratic Caucus, where the Democratic Party will nominate their candidate to run against the Republican Party nominee. Before we begin, for the younger viewers out there, a party's caucus is to elect the single Democratic candidate to represent the entire party against the Republican candidate who will be chosen at the Republican caucus. Here is how a caucus works. Each state holds primary elections, and the winner of each state is rewarded with all of the delegates. New Jersey actually had a runoff this year for the Democratic seat between Carter and Cooker. Carter won every single other state except for New Jersey because in the second round of voting, Senator Bory Cooker, because it is his home state, won the majority. For this party's caucus, big states are given more delegates, unlike Republicans who reward the loyal states. At this convention, the delegates vote for who will represent the party, and they must vote for the delegate in the majority with their state. Now, back to the caucus.
Coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, the University of Duke graduate, standing at 6'1", the man coming from the lower class. He is pro-choice, and he's here to make a change. He's made his way around the nation, and he's here today to show you what's going on. He's here to bring good people, good politics, my personal friend, Omari Carter!
Good evening, my fellow Americans. As Mr. McAfee said, my name is Omari Carter, and we are here today to make our run for the White House. I'm from the streets of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Not the best place in the world, by no means. There was no Beverly Hills. But through hard work, perseverance, and an equal opportunity, myself and those around me were able to elevate our situation to the point where we can now come back and strive to get equality of opportunity for every American. Immigrants should be welcomed in this country. Our country was founded by them, made by them. We need to get a fair, legal, and safe way of getting immigrants from all over the world into the United States safely without discriminatory politics, practices, and unlawful deportations. That all Americans should have access to health care. And as president, I will strive to make sure that equality of opportunity is a reality for everybody, regardless of race, sexual orientation, religion, or socioeconomic status. Thank you, and God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, now presenting your official 2020 Democratic candidate, Omari Carter.
From our keynote speaker, Senator Jones of Arizona.
So today we come to celebrate the nomination of our honored presidential candidate who
has succeeded in the primaries and will be bringing a new dawn and a new day to the Democratic Party. In our previous election, we saw tumult and strife and division between Americans on a level that we've never quite experienced before, and in this 2020 election, we seek to unify the United States once more.
Thank you everyone for tuning into the Democratic Caucus. Congratulations, Democratic presidential nominee Carter and Gail Hyde. Thank you and have a good night. Look at the outstanding number of college students that came out today to witness the Democratic rally at the University of Michigan. Good evening. Today we'll be showing clips from candidate Carter's rally at the University of Michigan.
Welcome to the Democratic National Rally of 2019. We are gathered here today at University of Michigan to celebrate our Democratic candidate Omari Carter for President 2020. My name is Christine Gale Hyde, and I will be your Vice President for these coming 4 years. And I would just like to say that our party will promise you, the American, no matter where you're from or who you are, equality of opportunity for all. Now, without further ado, please welcome our 2020 candidate, Omari Carter.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. I am so happy that all of you could join me for this rally here at the University of Michigan. Shout out to the Wolverines. By quick show of hands or applause, everybody here that has over $15,000 that they owe in student loans, please make some noise. That's almost all of you. Now, this nation is billions of dollars in debt from student loans. For many of you that come from middle-class families and working-class families, because I know that most of us can't afford a nice education at a secondary school. But we have to find a way now for middle-class working families to afford the education that they need to go on and find success in whatever profession that they may choose. And second note, in relation to the environment, climate change is real. It is not made up. It is not fake news. Granted, I understand why some Republicans may be hesitant to spend billions and trillions of dollars to undo the decades of pollution that this country has manufactured. But there are ways where we can not only cut back our emissions, help slow down and reduce climate change, but also boost the economy at the same time without putting the nation deeper into this huge national debt. In other news, now I know that we have a long road ahead of us, but with the people around me and me as your president, we can bring good people and make good politics. Thank you, and God bless America.
Good people, good politics. That sure is an accurate slogan when dealing with presidential nominee Carter's full and accurate party platform. The full details of his platform were given to us recently by his campaign manager, Will McAfee. Nominee Carter's presidential platform includes affirmative action with a focus on economic change instead of just based upon race or sex. He is pro-choice, pro-Obamacare, and pro-immigration reform. He does not allow for illegal immigrants, but advocates giving them a full path to citizenship. And his strategy for this election is to swing the swing states in the blue direction. Because he is a more moderate candidate, the Democratic Party picked him because they want to appeal to the middle, so voters from both parties feel that Carter is the president to represent them. Thank you and have a great night. Welcome back. Our party nominees have been known for a little while now, but the election is far too far away to know for sure which way the public will go and which candidate they will side with. Democratic nominee Carter will take a more moderate view on the issues, while Republican nominee Hicks will take a more conservative view. If President Trump had not surprisingly redacted his announcement to run for president, leaving the nomination very open, Carter may have had a debate against an incumbent president. Incumbents often have a very large advantage in elections with experience, money, support, and proof for their promises. Both presidential candidates will be participating in the debate tonight. We are covering it live. Here it is.
Before we begin with questioning, we'll give each candidate a minute to introduce themselves. Mr. Carter, go ahead.
Hi, for those of you who may not know, I'm Omari Carter, representing the good people of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and the good people that want good politics. I'm here today as a humble American, just as any one of you watching at home are, here to represent your ideas and take us to the White House. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Mr. Hicks?
Howdy, y'all. My name's Jebediah Hicks, and I come from Alabama. I just want y'all to know that I will be the president for you. I will be the best president. I will do everything that y'all want, and I will make sure that America will continue to be great.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Now, we'll begin with a question for both of you. As a reminder, you will each have 90 seconds maximum to answer this question. Please respect each other's opinions. It's a polarizing issue, and you both have taken stances on the campaign trail. Mr. Carter, please explain your view first. And Mr. Hicks, you will then have the opportunity to rebut and to explain your own position. Mr. Carter?
I want to start off by saying first and foremost, to all people of this nation, Democrats, Republicans, old, young, everybody, I do not want to take guns away. I repeat, I do not want to take guns away. As far as gun control, I believe that we need to keep guns in the hands of those that are responsible enough to handle them without causing mass destruction or using them in a way they should not be used. Enforcing gun laws that we have already written to a further extent and making them just stricter, I think will go a long way in keeping the nation safer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Mr. Hicks?
For many years now, the Democratic Party has been trying to revoke our Second Amendment right. It is all right to have guns, and I, as your president, will protect that right. I will ensure all Americans can have the guns that they want. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks.
I'm not trying to take guns away. I said that 90 seconds ago.
Now, please, Mr. Carter, wait your turn to speak, particularly after the recent actions of our Supreme Court with regards to Louisiana. Please, Mr. Hicks, explain why you are against abortions. Mr. Carter, once Mr. Hicks is finished, you may outline your own view.
Abortion is murder. The baby does not have a say in what happens. It should be up to the mother to protect her own child, and the baby should have the trust in her mother that that they will not be aborted. Abortion should be illegal because we are killing babies that do not have a say in what happens. It is the same thing as murder.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Mr. Carter?
It's your body, it's your decision. I believe that the federal government should have no role in determining what an individual can and cannot do with their body as long as it does not pertain to public health. Abortion does not have an effect on the health of the overall public. It doesn't. I'm sorry. That's the cold truth. So with that being said, I believe the government should have no role in limiting what a woman can and cannot do with their body. Thank you.
Thank you both. As a reminder, I'm Cooper Anderson with the GNN. Good night, everybody.
These were some very, very different views. Republicans' positional issues, including gun rights and anti-abortion, definitely shone through Hicks' opinions on the Second Amendment and women's right to choose. Democratic positional issues, such as the right to choose, was upheld by Carter. Although, no matter their differences, both candidates want the best for America. Both emanate the desire to bring the country freedom, prosperity, and success. Because these balanced issues are supported by both candidates, it is up to the voters to decide which candidate best represents and guarantees these aspects for America. The general election is just around the corner. Will voters support the Democratic candidate Omari Carter, good people, good politics, or Republican candidate Jebediah Hicks? Parties can't mix, so vote for Hicks. Thank you. Have a great night.
Please welcome our 2020 Democratic President, Mr. Omari Carter!
made it. I would like to thank all the supporters from the Democratic Party, all the people across the nation that voted for me. My mama couldn't have done it without you. We gonna bring good people and make good politics. Thank you, and God bless America.
Many of you may be wondering how the country could elect such a conservative president in 2016 and then a left-leaning moderate in 2020. Many political experts are surprised as well because of the extreme amount of malapportionment of many districts in swing states, as well as a small amount of gerrymandering. Certain districts have a significantly greater or less number of voters within a district compared to the others in that state. This is mostly happening to favor the Republican majority. In other words, when voting in populations are very unequal, it sometimes can favor one. Many voters thought the Republican Party no longer aligned with their ideals for America. That is why a more moderate presidential candidate is taking office this spring. This is called retrospective voting. Another reason Omari Carter won the presidency is because of prospective voting, which is when voters choose a candidate that they think will have the best future for the country with the best policies and platform. Because Omari Carter is a moderate Democrat, people look towards the middle to have the best future for America. Finally, a portion of votes probably went to Carter because he was the lesser of two evils. This can also be called a clothespin vote. This is when a candidate receives votes even though they do not like him or her. Hicks was too conservative for many voters, leaving Carter as the only option. Thank you. Congratulations, Presidential-elect Carter. Have a great night.
I know that I would have been the best president for these United States, and that is the reason why I will be running in the 2024 election in 4 years.